Hello and welcome back. Another day, another DILR CAT challenge, and once again we'll play the usual game of logic, of deductions, of possible cases, etc. But one thing that I want to point out, which I may not have mentioned earlier, is the importance of reading well and effectively, and then in the exam scenario, reading quickly as well. Because half the challenge here is understanding the problem, going through this dense piece of data. There's no table, there's no graph, there is only all the story given is in sentences. So being able to go through the data quickly and getting a snapshot of the picture is definitely part of the speed and overall problem solving, especially for your exam scenarios. So do pay attention to reading well and understanding. All the investments you make in reading will come in handy here, because as you read more, you have more fluency, and this kind of information will be easier to handle. Instead of reading it 3 times, maybe you can grasp the information in one go itself, right? So let that be the special pointer. Otherwise the process will be as usual. We'll capture the information and then we'll play the game and we'll see nothing new is happening. So as usual, assuming that you have tried out the set, at the very least are aware of all the details of the story, I'm straight away jumping into those details required to solve the problem and not getting lost in reading the whole paragraph, assuming that you have already done that. So this is my story. There are 6 teachers given. They are going to create questions for 2 tests, the midterm and the end term, both of which are worth 100 marks. Now all of this is in that paragraph, maybe far away from each other. So all of that I'm compressing and putting it together in short form. It is also given to me that the number of questions in the end term is greater than the number of questions in the midterm. Moreover, it was also given to me that there are at least 4 questions of the 5 marks per question category, that there are at least 3 questions of the 10 marks per question category, and there are at least 2 questions of the 15 marks per question category. So this was my basic starting framework of the story. If I just observe this, 5 into 4 20, 10 into 3 30, 15 into 2 30 again, 20 plus 30 plus 30 is going to give you 80. That means for both the test MT and ET, out of 100, 80 is clearly accounted for already. These details are given to you. The remaining 20, because 80 plus 20 is equal to 100, the remaining 20, how will this be distributed in 5 marks questions or 10 marks questions or 15 marks questions is one of your challenges in the story, right? So before proceeding further in the story or covering the rest of the details of the problem statement, let me just think about this particular challenge. I already have 80. I want to create 20. In how many ways, or what are the possibilities of doing that? Remember, possibilities or building cases or testing possibilities is one of our core skills, right? So if I want to create this 20, I can create it by 5 into 4. That means I have 4 more questions. I already had 4. I have 4 more questions of 5 marks each. I will have 20 and I'll get to 100. Is there any other way of going about it? I can create 2 questions of 5 marks each and throw in 1 more question of 10 mark each, and again I can create 20. This is 10 and this is 10. You might have noticed that I skipped 3 questions of 5 marks each, because I will have 15. I want to get to 20. Using 10 or 15, I cannot get to 20 anymore. So that possibility of having 3 questions for 5 marks each is already ruled out for me. Then I could have 10 mark questions and only 2 of them. That could be another possibility. Or I could have a single question of 5 marks and a single question of 15 marks, because 15 plus 5 again will give me 20. So these are my possibilities. Now let me start thinking about number of questions, because remember I have a rule regarding that the number of questions in ET is greater than the number of questions in MT. Another piece of information given in the story was that all of these 6 characters created the same number of questions. So the number of questions by A is equal to the number of questions by B and C and D and E and F, and these guys have created all the questions in ET and MT together, and the number of questions are equal to each other overall, because somebody might have made 1 question in MT and 3 questions in ET, and the other person might have done vice versa. So I have another key piece about number of questions here, there are 6 people, so whatever is the number that I'm thinking of has to be a multiple of 6, right? So the number of questions has to be a multiple of 6, and the number of questions has to be so that the number of questions in ET has to be greater than MT. So let me dive into the overall number of questions, because I should be able to see them on screen, right? 4 questions here, 3 questions here, 2 questions here. So I have 9 questions already, and then I have this story or this story or this story or this story. So let me try and play with this information and see if I can connect all of them to come to a conclusion about a specific number of questions about ET and MT. So let's count the number of questions. 4 and 3, 2. I definitely have a 9. And then in this story, I will have 4 more questions. So 9 plus 4. And remember, we are thinking of either ET or the MT one by one. So I could have a story of 9 plus 4, or I could have a story of 2 and 1, 3 extra questions. So I could have a story of 9 plus 3. I could have a story of 9 plus 2. We are looking at number of questions only. This much was already given to me. These are my possibilities. Or once again, I could have another 9 plus 2. That means the number of questions, if I look at one of these sections, can be 13 or 12 or 11. And this is one section. So for the other section also, you could have 13 or 12 or 11. And your total number of questions is going to be either 13 plus 13, 26, or 13 plus 12, 25, or 13 plus 11, 24, or 12 plus 13, 25, or 12 plus 12, 24, or 11 plus 11, 22, etc. Now you have a very big clue that whatever is the overall number of questions has to be a multiple of 6. That means 26 is not going to work for you, 25 is not going to work for you, 22 is not going to work for you, only 24 is going to work for you. So now there are a couple of ways of creating 24. You could have 12 and 12. You could have, let's say this is MT and this is ET. You could have 13 in MT and 11 in ET. You can create 24. You can have 11 in MT and 13 in ET. You can create 24. Now throw in this rule that the number of questions in ET has to be greater than MT. That means this rule is not going to work for you. They can't be equal. That means even this story is not going to work for you. Why? Because ET should be greater, so I can't have this. I can only have this. And that is a very, very big conclusion that I have made, that the number of questions in MT is equal to 11 and the number of questions in ET is equal to 13. And this is only one part of the story, because there was another part about arrangement of questions, who created the first 2 questions, who created the last question, etc., etc. But before going into that part, one had to figure out this piece, or while struggling with that part, one had to figure out this piece, because once you have the fixed number of questions, the rest of the journey is pretty straightforward. So now we have figured out that MT has 11 questions and ET has 13 questions. There were a couple of more rules given in the paragraph, that in any test all the 5-mark questions will happen consecutively, then the 10-mark questions, and then the 15-mark questions. And one of the rules later said that all questions prepared by a faculty member appeared consecutively in MT and ET as well. So if you have a teacher creating a set of questions, they will all appear together. But don't worry about it. The first rule is enough for me to start with, that I will have all the 5-mark questions in one go, then the 10-mark questions, and then the 15-mark questions. But before proceeding, remember that this 11 is made up of 9 plus 2, 9 questions that are already fixed and 2 extra questions. But remember, this 2 has a problem. Why? Because you could have 2 questions of 10 marks each, or you could have one more question of 5 marks and another question of 15 marks. So as of now, I do not know whether this 2 represents 10 into 2, or whether it represents 5 into 1 and 15 into 1, right? 2 questions and 2 questions. This one is clearer, 9. This is definitely 9 plus 4. And there was only one configuration with 4 questions, and that is 4 questions of 5 marks each, right? Let me remove this. And so this story is definitely easier for me to figure out, because in this 9 I already had 4 questions of 5 marks. Now I have 4 more. That means in this story the first 8 questions are of 5 marks each. And then we have these 3 questions of 10 marks each and the last 2 questions of 15 marks each. But in this story, I do not know whether I have only 4 5-mark questions or maybe one more, which will be revealed to me from the rest of the information given in the problem. In fact, in the very first rule, Annie prepared the 5th question for both MT and ET. So this question was created by Annie, and the 5th question for ET as well was created by Annie. For MT, this question carried 5 marks. So great, you know that there are overall 5 questions, because you could have had 4 questions or 5 questions with this configuration. Now you definitely know that you have 5 questions of 5 marks each. That means you're working with this story. That means you have 3 questions of 15 marks each, and then the remaining 3 are 10 marks each. Remember, somewhere we also figured out that the total number of questions is 24. There are 6 people, so questions per creator is equal to 4. So I also know that everybody has created 4 questions in the story. The second rule said Annie prepared 1 question for MT. Every other faculty member prepared more than 1 question for MT. Annie only prepared 1 question for MT. That means Annie has 4 questions. The rest of the 3 questions are going to be in ET. So Annie in ET has created 3 questions. In MT, she has only created a single question. It is also given to me that every other character has created more than a single question for the MT story. The next rule was quite interesting. It said all questions prepared by a faculty member appeared consecutively in MT as well as ET. So for example, I know Annie has 3 questions. So it will be Annie, Annie, Annie in 5, 6, 7, or Annie, Annie, Annie in 4, 5, 6, or Annie in 3, 4, 5, right? And this rule means that all the questions by a particular creator will show up together in the order, which when combined with other rules will give me more information. Next rule said Chetan prepared the 3rd question in both MT and ET. Chetan created the 3rd question in both MT as well as ET. So now observe this and use the previous rule. Can I throw any other creator in this slot? Because I know every other creator for MT series has created more than a single question. But if you put any other creator in this slot, his questions will be separated from each other, which is not allowed according to the previous rule. So this character definitely has to be C, because A has only created 1 question. And extending that rule, can I have 2 more C's here? C only has 4 questions. I see 1 question is definitely gone to ET. So at max you can have 3 questions here. But if you do that, say if I put up a C here, that means another creator will have a single question, or his questions will be segregated from each other. That means this is also not allowed. That means I can say C is definitely in the 3rd or created the 3rd and the 4th question. The second part of the same rule said Isha prepared the 8th question in both. Isha prepared the 8th question in both. So as of now it's not showing me too much, so let me jump to the next rule. Fakir prepared the first question of MT and the last one in ET. Fakir prepared the first and the second question, because if I know he created the first question, I know for sure he created the second question as well because of previous rules. It is also given to me that he created the last one in ET. So the last one ET, question number 13, is created by Fakir. Now if Fakir has created 2 questions in MT, he must have created 2 other questions in ET. And that means the 12th and the 13th slots are gone for me. Dave prepared the last question of MT. So Dave is here. And the first one in ET. So Dave is also here. So now think about D being in the first slot. D at max can have 2 questions in ET. That means minimum there have to be 2 questions in MT for D. That means this slot is also definitely gone to D, because I could also have a situation where I have one question of D in ET and 3 questions of D in MT. So I'm trying to play with that story and not jumping into conclusions directly. But I do know for sure that the 10 slot will be taken by D definitively. And now think of which character is missing in the story. B is missing in the empty story altogether. I know he has created more than one question. So he cannot fit in this slot definitively. That means he has to fit into slots number 6 and 7. Once I make this placement, I notice that E has to be more than 1 because I was told that except Annie, every creator created more than question. So this has to be E. And once I fix that, I can say for sure that D has to be here. I know C has provided 2 questions for MT and 2 questions for ET. They have to be together. So C has to be here. Annie has created 3 questions. They all have to be together. E has created 2 questions for MT, so he or she will also create 2 questions for ET, and this will be the slotting. And then I'm left with B, which will create question number 10 and 11. And that's it, we are done with the story. So in the beginning it might seem a little bit tricky, plus it's a 2-part question. First part was about finding out the number of questions using on building cases, and the second part was more of your linear arrangement kind of a question, which when you start, then the pieces will just fall together, right? Now I can very quickly go to the questions. The second question in ET was prepared by, this is the ET chart, it was prepared by D, so my option should be option 3 or option C. The next question was, how many 5-mark questions were there in MT and ET combined? So in MT, I know there were 5 5-mark questions, and in ET, I know there are 8 5-mark questions, 4 already in the story and 4 I figured out because the total number of questions is 13. So 8 here and 5 here, my answer should be 13 or option D. The next question was, who prepared 15-mark questions for MT and ET? This is my 15-mark question slot, so E and D. And this is my 15-mark question slot, so F as well. So my answer should be E, D and F, or only Dave, Isha and Fakir, and my answer option should be option 1. The next question was, which of the following questions did Beti prepare in ET? Beti prepare in ET question number 10 and question number 11. But I don't have any 11 in the option. I do have a 10th, so therefore my answer would be option B. And that's it, we are done with the set. So notice that how the logic process is getting quite repetitive now. The same building and testing cases, you do not know the end of the story. You know 80 marks, you don't know 20 marks. So you think about the possibilities of 20 marks, then you try them out with keeping another rule in mind. That was one part. And the second part was linear arrangement. I'm assuming this wasn't too much of a challenge. Once you figure out the number of questions, etc., and start placing the characters and keep the rules in mind. So this is it for this session. See you really soon again with the next challenge.